if you're a shift worker trying to lose weight, then you'll know trying to stick to a daily calorie target can feel impossible. But you don't need to stick to a daily calorie target to drop fat. I've got a better approach, one that I teach my clients inside Project Shift 24/7. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use it to consistently and repeatedly drop fat week after week in a much easier way. So here's why daily calorie targets don't work for shift workers and what you can do instead. So if you're a shift worker and you're trying to lose fat, you'll know the basics. You need to be in a calorie deficit. Your body needs to be putting out more energy than what is coming in, creating a deficit, thereby using your fat stores for energy. Okay, you know that. So what you try to do is you try to stay in a deficit every single day. You give yourself a target and you try to stick to it. And by doing that, you restrict your food, your calories, and your food choices, which makes it really hard to stick to. Now, sticking to a daily calorie target can feel impossible for a number of reasons. One I hear all the time is that night shifts, they go over 2 days. So how do you manage one day to the next? If your calories are, if your target is 2,000 for the day, for example, and you've got a night shift and you eat during that night, does that count as the days or the next day's calorie targets? Okay, there's a lot of confusion around that. Now, eating times go out of the window. You're not having breakfast at 9, lunch at 12, dinner at 6. It depends on your shifts. So again, it can be really hard to manage your calories. And your activity level is always different, depending on if you're on shift or if you're on a rest day. And therefore, your hunger and cravings can spike randomly, especially on night shifts. And then sleep plays a havoc with your hormones like ghrelin and leptin, which I'll touch on shortly. So then social events and unplanned days. If you've got a calorie target of 2,000 and you've got a social event planned, whether you're going for a meal with your partner or with your family, you just haven't got enough calories to actually be able to go out and enjoy it. And then if you have an unplanned day where you're a bit stressed or you've been on a really difficult night shift and you eat more calories than you anticipated, you go over and you put yourself out of a deficit. And then you never get to enjoy any food or cheat on your diet without feeling guilty about it. And then what happens is you have one bad day and you tell yourself that you've completely ruined your whole diet. The week's ruined, you might as well start again Monday. You go over your calories and you think the whole world has ended. And then what happens is you have one bad day and you think you've ruined the whole week. You go over your calories, you get yourself out of a deficit, you think you've maybe ruined your diet, or worse, you've put weight on, and you get into that all or nothing mindset where you end up writing off the whole week and starting again Monday, as if there's this magic switch on Sunday night that forgets the whole week, the whole damage you've done before, and just allows you to start fresh. It doesn't work that way. And all that does is it just destroys your motivation because you feel like you've failed. And then when you lose motivation, you lose consistency. And consistency is everything. And then you end up getting no progress at all, or very best case scenario, you're making really small progress, almost as if it's not even worth it, and you're not seeing the changes that you think you should be. And then you become this start again Monday kind of person, and not a 24/7 operator that we're trying to create. And that shift gremlin, that little devil on your shoulder that just takes over when times get hard, just ruins your whole week. So daily calorie targets, they can work, but not for us. They work for people who sleep at the same time every night. They eat at the same time every day. They have similar steps and activities every single day, and they've got predictable energy and hunger. Okay, that's not firefighters, that's not nurses, that's not doctors, that's not paramedics, that's not police, that's not factory workers. It's desk-based 9-to-5ers, not us. So here's why daily calories fail shift workers. We work night shifts, and therefore we accrue sleep debt, which gives us higher hunger because our ghrelin goes up and leptin goes down. Hormones that play a vital role in telling us how hungry we are and how satiated we are. Now, some shifts that have loads of movements, other shifts you'll barely even move. And in some days you'll smash 15k steps, and others you'll be on a sofa. So how can you manage your calories to fit your lifestyle? Now, your appetite, your cravings, and your energy are going to be going up and down throughout the whole week. So then why do we try to stick to the same calories every single day? We try to have a perfectly even diet when our lifestyle doesn't match. And that's what causes us to fail. So shift workers don't need daily perfection. What we need is to zoom out, because we don't work in weeks. We need to zoom out, have consistency over a longer period of time, and make sure that we look at stuff on a macro level and not a micro level. Okay, we need a system that can absorb the peaks and the troughs, that can absorb the ups and the downs, so everything levels out. Okay, now your body will respond to what you do over a long period of time, not what you do day to day. It doesn't matter if you have one perfect day and one day that's not perfect. What matters is that you're consistent and you can adhere to the diet over a longer period of time. And this is where the weekly deficit method comes in. So what is the weekly deficit method? But instead of chasing perfect calories every single day, instead of chasing a rigid target and a rigid ceiling, we aim to land our weekly calories within our weekly deficit. Now, some days will be high, some days will be low. But what we aim to do is look at the week as an average to make sure whatever our calories need to be for that week in order for us to lose weight, we stick to that. Doesn't matter if you have one higher day, as long as the other days balance it out. And this way it matches your life. It matches the peaks and troughs, the things you do, eating out, working nights, working late. And it removes guilt from days that are higher. If you have a higher calorie day, rather than thinking I've ruined my diet, I've got to start again on Monday, you understand it's all part of the bigger picture. It's all part of the plan. It's not off plan, it's part of the plan. It is exactly what you're supposed to do, and it doesn't matter because you're leaving it out over the course of the week and all will end well. And it stops the I've ruined it all or nothing mindset. It stops that start again Monday mindset, which just destroys so many people's consistency and motivation. And this is one of the core pillars that I teach inside the 24/7 fat loss framework. So let's have a little look at how that works in real life. So Monday, you might have 1,800 calories. Tuesday, you might have a long shift or food on the go, and you eat 2,300. So you've gone above your target. Wednesday's a bit lower. Thursday, you're on a night shift. You have some extra snacks. Maybe you go McDonald's. And then Friday, a bit lower. Saturday, even lower. And then Sunday, a bit higher. You've got a family meal or maybe a takeaway. Now, this is for someone whose average should be, their deficit level should be 2,000 calories a day, so 14,000 a week. And with those peaks and troughs, with those up and downs, when all is said and done at the end of the week, they've averaged 2,000 per day. They've eaten, if their deficit was 500, their maintenance is 2,500. The calories they've been eating is 2,000, 500 per day, times 7, 3,500 per week. 3,500 calories is 1 pound of fat. All being well, they would have lost 1 pound in body weight, mostly from fat, maybe a little bit from muscle. But here you can see how the consistency works. Even though there were high days, they still lost fat. Okay, they didn't freak out because they had a couple of high days. And this kills that all or nothing mindset. It kills that mentality I mentioned earlier about starting again every Monday, because if you go over your calories, it's actually part of the plan. You haven't gone over anything. Okay, and it takes out the emotion, the emotional decisions, which so many of us follow, emotional eating. And it uses logic to decide how many calories we eat, and logic to understand that we are still in a deficit, even though we've eaten more than we thought we should do. And the weekly deficit method, it allows you to just understand that some days will be high and some days will be low. And you can pre-plan your higher days by eating less before, or if you have an unplanned day and you eat more than you anticipated, then you just pull back the days after. It's really quite simple. It allows you to make calm, data-led decisions, as I said, rather than acting on emotion. And it allows you to become a 24/7 operator and not a start again Monday kind of person. So here's how you can implement it if you want to give this a try. You want to work out a sensible weekly calorie target, or you can get a coach to help you. If you want me to help you with your numbers, just DM me on Instagram, ShiftWorkersCoach, and I'll help you work out your calories. Then you want to divide that by 7 to give you your daily average. Now, this isn't a ceiling, this isn't a target, this is just an average to go by. Then next, just let the week happen. Some days will be high, some days will be low. Just keep an eye on your weekly average. You can go on MyFitnessPal, and you can go to nutrition and you can choose 7-day average. You can see how your week's panning out. If you look like you're going a bit high, just pull back. And if you look like you're a bit low, give yourself some extra food the next day. Okay, if you have nights out, family meals, whatever you need to do, you can just plan it into the week. And then after a week or two, go back and have a look at your weekly average and just see how it all worked out. And if you feel like some days were a bit too high and you struggle to pull back, then just pull back on them higher days, and vice versa. It really is easy to implement. Okay, that's it for this one. If you need any help implementing this stuff, you can DM me on Instagram, as I said, or if you click the link down below, you can book a call with me. We can go through a strategy to help you figure this out around your life, to help you drop 10 kilograms in the next 90 days.